Now then, my name's Mike White. It's mid-February, it's bitterly cold, it's blowing an absolute gale. They reckon it's the worst storm in a generation that we've just had. I've been carp fishing well over 25 years now, so I thought I'd share some of my tips or the way I do things. There'll be one or two things you won't have ever seen before, I dare say. So if you're new to the sport or you've been doing it a long time, there'll be something for somebody. So let's do it. Feature finding and spotting. I'll show you the way I do things. So we all use braid on our marker rods and spod rods, but as a leader I use this stuff, tapered shock leader. I don't use braid as a leader. There's nothing worse than casting 100 yards with your marker float just for it to be wrapped up and the float doesn't come to the top. So I use these Fox tapered leaders, nylon, so nice and thick, so your float will just slide along without a problem. Plus, with it being like a 35 pound breaking strain to 12 pounds say, you don't have to use a finger stall. The way I set this up is, I've like it's a Fox run ring, like that, with like a quick change clip on there. Let's have a close-up of that. So basically that's it put together, and that'll just slide along nice like that. So with this this bit that goes to the lead, about 18 inches long, when you pull tight your float will be up. I start counting at 2, so 2, 3, 4, like that. Right, so that's that. But then what we do, I like to keep things simple, so I'm only using one setup for everything. Get rid of the float, get rid of the lead, then what we end up with is that again. Then out comes your spod or spon. That clips on the end, like that. Your rubber goes over. Then this free running bit just actually goes tight over there, so it's not going to be coming off when you're spodding. So you're just using the same setup for everything, and that goes the same with a deeper. Disconnect that, unclip that, get your deeper, and that can go on there as well. So just one setup for everything, so you're not carrying loads of rods, and that's how I do that. When using distance sticks, try and have the wind off your back. It'll make things a lot easier, especially when you're winding back in. There you go. There's really no need to use wet particles. You just use pellets. Just add the stuff separately. A few bits of cone. Top it up with pellets. You can do this with tiger nuts or whatever, rather than just having a wet mix that you've got to use up. This way, whatever you don't use, you're taking home. Just give it a dip, just to give it a bit of forward weight. Lead arrangement, I want to keep things as simple as possible. I want to use the same arrangement for everything. Can't be done with breaking stuff down and redoing it. So I just use a simple lead clip. You can take the lead off when you're packing up, you can change your leads. I use rig tubing. Too many places ban just naked line, lead core. I use the same arrangement for my rigs, so you can use any rigs will go on that. Even my zig fishing, I use this arrangement, keep the tubing on. I have about 20 inches of tubing, but that goes on as normal. Push the sleeving over, you're laughing. And while we're talking about zigs, I keep my zigs in a tub like this. Keep my zigs on winders. So the yellow ones are 5 foot, the orange ones are 10 foot. So then I can just trim them down to whatever size I want. But if I grab one of these, the arrangement, let's have a look, take that off there. So basically I still use that on there, then that pushes over nice and tight and that doesn't tangle. So that's it really. I can use it for zig fishing, bottom bait fishing, no breaking rigs down at all. Rigs and hooks. Let's start with hooks. I've always been one for sharpening hooks, but until recently I've been using these angling iron hooks, and it's the first hooks I've never actually had to sharpen out of a packet. So I don't bother sharpening them anymore. The points are just that, the spot on, they really are. So don't use that anymore. Even if the thing is with hooks these days, you know, the sharp ones are really sharp and they lose the point fairly quick, but you can't really touch them up because the points are that fine. So I tend to be changing a lot of hooks. All my rigs are based around quick change. You know, they've all got these, you know, they all can come off like this and I can just change the hook quite easily. Even with pop-up rigs, that's the same. So I just do that the same. So you can change your bait real quick, you can change your hook real quick. Same with this one. That's my bottom baits or wafters. That's on the little swivel, just pulled into the bait. Bit of dental floss comes out there and where you burn it off with a lighter, and you can just have all your baits already. That's a really nice rig to use, that one. The hook length that I use for all my rigs is the Fox Camotex semi-stiff in 25 pound. Don't see any point in going any less than that. So the stronger the better, especially come summertime when you're fishing in weed. My pop-up rig, basically it's just a loop at each end, a loop, small loop there, and a big loop. And that loop only has to be the right size so you can change the hook, as long as it's big enough for that. Looking at that, that could be a little bit shorter. I leave the coating on this one, so that ends up like that. But where I've got the lead or the weight, I've just took a bit of the coating off so that can spin round. That's a nice rig, that one. This one, I've actually stripped back the coating on all of this section. At first I was a little bit bothered about the braid getting caught up where the eye's been crimped, but this Camotex, the weave is really tight, so some braids the weave is quite loose and it could possibly try to get in the crimp just there. That was the only thing that put me off doing this, but if ever I had a problem with that, I just wouldn't do it like this. I'd leave that bit coated. My only other tip with hook sharpness, I mean these really do sharp out the packet and they do blunten fairly quick. Pop-ups aren't so bad, but it's the ones that are on the deck. But you'd give it a feel, do the nail test. But when I used to sharpen hooks, I've always carried a bit of leather. So when I used to sharpen them, I'd end up stropping it like that afterwards. But what I found now, if these do blunt them, I just give it a go with the leather. Before I throw the hook away, I give it a go with the leather, and that just polishes it up, and it just brings the point back. Just have the two rigs. Obviously you can change the lengths of the pop-up rig. This one, I tend to keep it about the same, 7 inches. But when I'm bag fishing, it's just basically a shorter version of this, you know, but the knot might be there where my thumb is, just enough to change the hook. This one I've left long, so the weight that's there, that's instead of using putty, just keeps it nice and easy. So that's it, that's my take on rigs. Right, Zigs, just a quickie this one. So imagine that's tied to the line. Then you've got your tail rubber. So that goes on there so your line comes off. And all I've been doing lately is, to be honest, I like to have all my zigs brown. I like them to be natural. So cut that into a disc there. Cut that in half. And basically you're just getting the nipping that there. Get the other one. Nipping that there. And that's about it. That's all I do. Another little tip with a zig, what I do, I dip these in hemp oil before it goes out. And I shouldn't be telling you this, but the lead that I use for zigging, they're all these fluffy type leads now, aren't they? You know, bit of texture to them. I dip that in the oil as well, so when that's on the deck and this is above it, the oil's coming off that and it makes its way through the full column of water, and if a fish is passing it, it might go to it. Quick tip, there you go. Right, we all know how to tie your little bags up and get your sticks ready, but one thing that I do that a lot of people don't tend to do, these are quite moist really, so you can just hook it onto your hook and just give it a little nip around the back like that, and that's all I've ever done with these, and it stops your bait wrapping round, tangling up. So you can use that on its own. This might not come off now. You can use it on its own, or you can use usually what I do, nip a bag on, then put that on afterwards and nip it together, and that's nice. So your hook point's covered up and you've got a nice little package there for anything that comes along. Right, that's the kind of rig I'd use 80% of the time, let's say. Solid bag fishing. When I was saying about keeping the same lead arrangement for everything, I never liked the idea of breaking things down, as you know. So what I come up with a long time ago, you get your PVA bag, you put whatever you want in it, but then the lead goes to this side. So that's the lead there to one side, then that's just tightened round there. You can tie it off or just give it a bit of a lick and twist it, round the edges off like that. Then the swivels on show. So what I do with them, I have my short rigs ready. So basically I just push that through there, come out with this side, hook that on somehow, like that, pull that back through, then I hook that into the soft bit like that, then that's just showing through there. Then I'll put that back on there. Then basically it's a case of put the lead on there, then just connect it up and it's ready to go. It's not the most aerodynamic thing in the world. I don't bag fish that often, but when I do, this does work. It's just that the lead's there, but this rig's at the top, so that always lands that way, that melts, and it's brilliant. You're not breaking anything down. Another thing that I come up with that I use quite a bit now, when you're bag fishing, what you can do, well, I'll show you how I do this anyway. I have 3 different types of mesh all together, saves a bit of space. But if you get the wide one, like that, which is already tied off at the end, put some pellets in, like you do. Just get your lead, flat lead's good. Slide that down. Then if you just manipulate that a little bit so the pellets go to one side of it, like that, tighten that up, you can tie that off, like that. And if you keep to the inside of the swivel, so the eye is on shore still, but it's underneath the mesh, then just tie it off again, just to make sure. It's a bit awkward this, like that. Just go tight up to it again. Then do another one for the offcut. Like that. Then you've got your bag, similar sort of thing, lead to one side. This isn't as good as usual because of the way I'm doing it. Lead to one side, swivels there. So with you having the 2 knots there, it's quite safe. You can just break the PVA. Then what I do when the rig comes in, there's the rig that's come in. First of all, what I'll do is I'll connect the rig first. What you've got to do when you're changing this, you've got to dry it off in between. Put that on as you normally would, so that's on. Then put this bit on. Put your tubing on, put that on as normal, so they're separate. But then all you've got to do after that, just nip that through there, make sure it comes right through. Then that's the way to go, like that. Then that's the same sort of thing. Cast that in, lands like this, then that melts, and it's good. Jobs are good in. No messing about breaking stuff down. This is a good alternative to solid bag fishing. Easier to do. You can put whatever you want in there as well. So yeah, don't tell anyone, will you? Pods. Some people may laugh, but you try getting bank sticks into a ground on some of these gravel pits, or if you're fishing platforms, you know, I don't take this to bits, I leave it made up, hard ground, platforms, job done.